Hello, welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode, let's talk about Manchester United. In fact, this is our team and this is what we do, and this is why we are here on YouTube to discuss everything about Manchester United. There is a few things that is going on that I think we need to discuss, we need to talk about. There has been news and rumors out there that says that there's a lot of things happening in the club, that INEOS is quiet in this transfer market and they are trying to make moves, but we are not seeing anything apart from the earlier moves they've made. So we would have to discuss certain things that we've had in the world of football and everything that surrounds Manchester United. So we'll be discussing that. So if it's your first time being here, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really takes us a long way, and hit the comment section and also share it with your friends so that we can continue to do what we do for this channel. Today, what are the things that I want to discuss about? My first thing I want to discuss about is our youth system and the progression of our enticing players. What is up for them? What is next? And are we looking at retaining them for the upcoming seasons? This is something that I want us to discuss and talk about it and look at it from my perspective and the perspective of other United fans out there, and what they think is very important when it comes to this youth development. We all know about Manchester United and the upbringing of youth. We know of the legendary class of '92, and we've seen other young prominent players who have come in through the ranks of our youth system. We've seen the likes of Makeda, we've seen the like of Wes Brown, Gary Neville, we've seen the likes of David Beckham, and so many other players we can name and keep on naming. But once they make a debut in their senior side of the club, we hardly hear anything after that. The first thing I would like to talk about is Harry Amass. Harry Amass is in the news that Manchester United is looking at letting him go on a permanent transfer in the future. And this is kind of very alarming to most people here who support and love this club. All because that we've seen there is this attitude when it comes to youth development that we rely on buying instead of giving the opportunity to our youth players to come in and establish themselves and be first team players. So Harry Amass has gone on loan. He has gained some experience out there, and currently he is part of the club who has gone on to play Wrexham and also Rosenborg. So he's had quite of an experience, but it's looking like with the news coming in from journalists, he is being placed on a sale, which is very not right in my opinion. So let's look at this. Technically, let's look at this. We've had Luke Shaw for the past, 10 plus years being in the club as the starting left back. We had the opportunity to bring in Alvaro Carreras, but Eric Ten Hag decided to sell him to Benfica and go bring in Tyrell Malacia. Malacia has left the club now, and we saw the upbringing of Harry Amass during Eric Ten Hag's time. And when Ten Hag left, it was Ruben Amorim who came in, and Ruben Amorim seemed not to be a fan of Harry Amass, so he had to go to the championship for game time. And in that process, we saw that we brought in the great Patrick Dogu to come and replace Luke Shaw or give competition to Luke Shaw. But right now, it looks like Patrick Dogu has elevated his game to the extent that he is being considered a winger. Therefore, we do not have backup for Luke Shaw. Harry Amass fits in at this point, but we are also looking at bringing in Lewis Hall. So this is where I'm going with this. If you look at the pattern, we have, and then we let them go, and then we go bring in somebody, and the person kind of fails or does not establish themselves as a guarantor for the rest of the season or for the future, and therefore we keep buying for that same position. It's not the first time that we've done this. We remember when Evra was playing, Sir Alex Ferguson tried to bring in Alexander Butner at some point to come and play for them, but we know Butner didn't even last, that it got to a time that he had to leave. And we've had continuous problems at a left back. We saw Luke Shaw as a young man who could go on and establish himself for the future, which he's done great in his position to carry Manchester United from 2014 up to where we are right now. But we know his long-term injury that happened in the Champions League gave him some compelling time to be sidelined for a long time. But as time went on, he's been great. And this past season was the only season we saw him being able to play all 38 games without an injury. So in long term, he was right. But as he is growing and becoming who he is right now, we would need a replacement. Lewis Hall serves as a great person to replace him. But my problem is we cannot let go of Harry Amass. If at this point we are trying to build a team and give hope to the youthful exuberance in our team that they can make it to the first team, we shouldn't be letting go of players like Harry Amass, players who won the Youth Player of the Season in the 24-25 season. We shouldn't be letting them go. Harry Amass has the potential to be a great footballer and a great left back. We just need to have time. If Manchester United thinks selling him will solve the problem, I'm very sorry, but this is wrong. It would not solve the problem for United. We would need to actually even loan him and bring in Lewis Hall. And then next season, as things go, Lewis Hall learns from Luke Shaw departs, and then Harry Amass comes in as a backup to Lewis Hall. And there we have a strong competition. Both young players, both fierce, both willing to compete. That is how we solve our problem. We should not be letting these guys go just for peanuts, like what we've seen for £6 million in this current state of transfer. Manchester United is supposed to be selling him. If we decide to sell him, should be looking for 15 to 17 million pounds, at least to 20 million, because he has much experience. But we would need more and more from him in the future. But for that problem, Harry Amass shouldn't be sold, in my honest opinion. He should be kept, and that is it. In other ones too, I think Jack Fletcher and his brother might continue to play inside the under 21s, but Jack Fletcher looks like someone who has a higher ceiling. So therefore, him going on a loan to Germany or into the championship would be very good for his upbringing. He can learn so many things and be very equipped to the tempo and controlling of the game in the midfield. That would be good for Fletcher to take a look at and also make decisions on that. But the other thing is, let's talk about another prospect in the youth system, JJ Gabriel. I know he's 15, 10 and 16. That kid is amazing to watch. Yes, I know a lot of people are on here saying, yeah, he's just doing skills. This was the same thing Lamine Yamal was doing. He just had the opportunity to win the World Cup and also be given matches to boost his confidence. And we now see at the age of 19 what Lamine Yamal is able to do. So if we are going to nurture someone like JJ Gabriel, we should be looking at giving him game time in the Carabao Cup or in the FA Cup, or also in preseason games like this, that he will be able to boost his confidence and also be able to get in tune with the senior players in terms of their training and also in terms of being a professional footballer. So that would be something very important for us to look at. And that is some of the crop of players that Manchester United need to be paying attention to and just not letting people go. If we look at this current batch of youthful players we have Kamasin, we have Koninki, Devaney, we have JJ Gabriel, Chido Obi. We have a lot. We have a lot of players that can do so many things. And we just need to give these guys the hope that if they do well, they can play for Manchester United senior side. So we shouldn't just be looking at selling players back and forth and doing all that we are doing currently. So for me, Harry Amass shouldn't be sold. He should be staying in the club for this coming season. I know we are looking at having, listen, even if we do not, like, he being there is great for him. He would definitely get game time. Because Luke Shaw, if he keeps on playing 38 games, that would be good. But we know our centre backs have a lot of problems, injuries. So Luke Shaw might be able to move into the midfield and give way for Harry Amass to play in certain games when things like injuries happen. So we shouldn't be very upfront in deciding to let Harry Amass go. If we get Lewis Hall, or we are back into the talks with Lewis Hall from Newcastle, then that is great. We stand a chance of nurturing another player who is already established, and we've seen what he's done. He's had one of the best seasons. His game against Barcelona, one of the best to ever see and also understand where he is as an individual footballer. So if we are able to get Lewis Hall at some point, sure, let him be, and he could be understudy on Luke Shaw and then move forward. But we shouldn't be here selling Amass. I know people will be saying, "Oh, United fans have attachment to youth players; they are not ready." If we don't give them the opportunity, who is gonna give it to them? Definitely, we need to give these guys the opportunity and grow and give them those confidence. So, to me, he shouldn't be sold. He should be used in the future. The transfer market, Manchester United. What is happening? Why are we so quiet? I know we are being told that United is working in the books quietly. They are making moves. Hey, but these moves is kind of very. We don't know. We don't know what is happening. The moves are very quiet if you think about it, because we've had so many midfielders, we've had so many names that has been linked to the club. Begval is even the first one or the latest one to be linked to the club. We've learned of Mancone, Chouameni, Stella, but I don't even know if Stella is back in the talks. But these are the midfielders we've been linked with. Alex Scott, after signing all these four players we've had, Caldalo, Telemans, Andre Santos, and also Thompson. These are players that, yes, they are making up the squad, but is it going to... We need more. We need more. We need more. If we look at the likes of how teams are moving, we should be moving like that. I'm not saying we should go splash 100 million, but we should be making moves in acquiring the best talents in the world of football. So Manchester United needs to quicken up their feet, make these deals happen, because August 21st, 22nd, or 23rd for the league it's just around the corner. We need to be making those moves so that these guys come in and they are able to settle in before the Premier League starts. So we need to be making those moves. Manchester United need to be very tight. They need to make something happen, because right now I'm itching. It's like I'm itching. I need more. And I know I'm not the only one needing more. I know a lot of United fans are thinking that our transfer right now is very poor. It's just not good if we are looking at challenging for the league next season. Can we actually challenge for the league next season? This is a discussion now that I look at it. With what we have, are we title contenders? Probably. To me, I don't think we are. Maybe if we are able to sign a valuable CDM, if we are able to get Chouameni, or we are able to get another type of profile of a midfielder or defensive midfielder, somebody who would give us more, then yes, we might stand the chance of being contenders. I think we also need to me, I think United needs to get a centre back. I know we have Euro, we have Heaven. These guys have a huge and higher ceiling, but we need an established person looking at what we currently have and how these defenders are getting injured. Martinez, Delete, we don't know when they're coming back. Harry Maguire, getting old, a bit slower. Heaven, great, but needs more experience. Euro, great, needs more experience. Like the centre back position is really good, or we are going to promote a centre back from the youth. I don't know. We would have to see, but we would have to have someone who is going to command and is very fit. Scalvani is around from Atlanta, but hey, I'm very I'm very skeptical with Atlanta players. They always have one thing or two. Apart from the only player that we've had from Atlanta who has stand out is just Amad Diallo. Hojland came in injured. Edison almost came in injured. So it's something that we are very about it. Like Atlanta, yeah. But we would need to find promising defender or a defender with experience to come into it. And then that will probably make us title contenders for the future. If not, top four is what we might be gaining for. But for me, I know that eventually we will win the league, but we need to make a statement in the transfer market, something that will boost the confidence of the rest of the players on the field and give them something to look forward to, that their goal is to win the league. So if we have those new legs coming in, then yes. We also have Champions League football. So that is one of the biggest competitions in club football that we should be looking forward to. And these players we are trying to sign should be able to boost us in these competitions. So that is it for me on Manchester United youth system, our transfers, and what we should be looking forward to in the season. So let me know what you guys think. If it's your first time being here, please, once again, hit the like and subscribe button. It really takes us a long way. And let me know what you think. I would like to know what other United fans think and how we can become united. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.